Hello, 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 and welcome to my solo live stream. I was actually supposed to be going live with Amber Coleman today, but she's traveling and she's doing some really good stuff. She's traveling to go work with Guild Mortgage to actually be a part of the conversation as it relates to bringing new loan programs to the forefront based on what the market is asking for. So I'm super grateful that she's being included in that room, but it has definitely left me doing the live stream by myself today, which is okay. We have quite a few things to kind of cover today, so I'm going to do my best to work through my agenda and make sure I get you guys the information that I'm hoping to share. We'll give Amber a lot of crap next time she's on live with me, but honestly, I'm super excited that she's being included. She's one of the top 200 lenders in the nation for a reason. And I just got an update yesterday, and I think she told me that she is now ranked number 166 or 168 lenders in the nation. So when we come live and we're online, please know that I'm bringing forth someone who has an incredible wealth of knowledge and history and years in this business. And we're always doing what we can to bring hope of home ownership to you. So today I'm by myself. Hang in here with me for a moment. There's a lot of things to cover. The last few weeks, we've taken a bit of a step back from doing live streams for a number of reasons: family, travel, being sick, busy, whatever. But the last 2 weeks actually have been on purpose. It's an on-purpose hold, largely because of the fact that we've had a lot of stuff happening in the industry related to the National Association of Realtors settlement, the case that was happening that is now going to be widely affecting the entire nation when it comes to real estate rules and regulations. So as I move through this, I want to make sure that I'm available to answer your questions. I have not done a live stream by myself in a really long time, so this is a little strange. But if you have questions for me, please drop it like it's hot in the comment box below. Make sure that we know what you need, and I'm happy to answer what I can. And if I don't know, I'll definitely let you know. Also, if you want to get in touch with me, there's a link in the description below. Also, my phone number is texting right on the bottom there. Feel free to text me your information as well. Would love to be here for you as you plan whatever the heck you're going to do when it comes to moving to Las Vegas. And if you already live here, would love to be here for you as well. So, okay, I'm going to jump right into it. Again, just want everybody to know I'm on my own today, so hang in there with me. Looking forward to getting your comments, and certainly looking forward to answering your questions. So let's talk about the National Association of Realtors settlement. So what the heck was even the settlement about? I think this is I don't know about you guys, and maybe it's just because it's my industry, but I've had so much news and TikTok and Instagram, just so much content coming my way that has been even confusing to me, someone who literally does this for a living, talking about what these changes and what this lawsuit settlement means. So bottom line is, just want to give you guys an update on what the heck it really is. I'll be very real with you. I've seen national publications, and I've seen realtors, I've seen brokers, and I've even seen the president of the United States give absolute false information about what's going on and what the standards have been in our industry, which we can talk about. So I'm going to do my best to outline this. Please know that none of this is finalized. So whatever I say, I'm going to reserve the right to change my mind and talk about it in a minute. We'll talk about it later and update you guys in a minute when I get more information. The bottom line, though, is, what was this even about? The plaintiffs in this case with the National Association of Realtors claimed that as sellers, they were not given a choice to negotiate the commission structure and the payout while listing their home. So that's not entirely true, to be very honest with you. When we go to real estate school and we learn how to do this job, that's kind of the number one thing, is there's no standard fee that we charge for our services. It's always negotiable. However, for whatever reason, in the way that this went down, these sellers proved the case and they won. So long story short, basically the plaintiffs claimed that the commissions that they were, quote, forced to pay were artificially higher due to the seller being responsible for covering the seller's agent fees as well as the buyer's agent fees or commissions. So again, there is no standard in this industry. There never has been. There are common practices, but there's absolutely no set standard. And that's kind of been something that we are really excited about on my team as well as in our brokerage, because we get the opportunity to kind of create whatever package works for each client's needs when it comes to selling their home or when it comes to selling their home. So all that being said, the National Association of Realtors decided to settle the case instead of fighting it in court, which will result in some process changes. And I'm going to tell you right now, confusion on all fronts. So we're doing our best to kind of push through this as agents. It's been really scary. I've seen a lot of agents just tuck their tail and run, like they just don't even be a part of what's happening. We're going to do our best to kind of keep business as usual and evolve however we need to when it comes to what's happening. So with that being said, again, I want to reiterate, settlement and the effects of the settlement are not finalized yet. So I reserve the right to change my mind, but let me walk you through what you can expect at least for the next year at least. And if you're looking at buying a house in Vegas, here's what's up. So again, it's already been the case. Sellers have been able to negotiate, but now it's very firmly out loud. Sellers have the ability to negotiate on what they're going to list their house for in terms of commission, what the co-op is they're going to pay. A lot of people are talking about the fact that they think, hold on one second, let me pull that back. A lot of people are saying, a lot of news outlets even, I even saw it in the New York Times today, saying that this is going to lower home prices. I'm here to say loud and proud, I do not believe that's going to happen, at least not in Las Vegas. I don't know about other areas of the world, but Las Vegas, I'm going to tell you, I don't see that happening. And here's a couple of reasons why. So sellers don't currently list their homes to cover expenses. They list their homes to pull out that equity and move on to the next item, right? Whatever they're going to buy with that money, whether it's a house or a car or whatever, go on some awesome vacation. But they're listing their home for the highest possible amount that they can receive, not because of what people have had to pay realtors, but because of what the market demands. So for me, if you're running comps as a due diligence process that we do, we run comparables and we look at what other homes in the area have sold. Just because I may or may not have to pay a buyer's agent, which we'll talk about in a minute, as a seller, does not mean I'm going to go, oh, well, then I'm going to take $30,000 less, or I'm going to take $10,000 less. I don't know about you, but I, as seller A, am going to be pissed if I don't get the same amount or more that John Smith down the street got when he sold his house, because my house is way better than his, right? So I don't firmly believe that, I don't think that sellers having this knowledge or this assumption that they're not going to be on the hook for buyers' agent fees is going to do anything to the prices. I will be proven wrong when it happens, but I just do not believe that that's going to be the case. Another change that you're going to see is, and I'm going to put this up actually for you, is that agents are no longer able to publicly advertise the commission or the co-op fee to a buyer's agent for their listing. So I said that on purpose in that way. A lot of agents as well as sellers think, I'm off the hook. I don't have to pay the buyer's agent anymore. I can tell you, no way, I'm only going to pay you, and now the buyer has to pay theirs. That's not going to work in all aspects of the world, but where it's going to work, and what I like about as far as the rule that's put in here on bullet number 1 is we're not going to know who's paying for what until we actually engage in a conversation and start a negotiation for you on your behalf as a buyer's agent, or for you on your behalf as a seller's agent. I like this for a couple of reasons. Now, I'm going to be very clear. I'm not calling out anyone specifically, but I do know personally that there are some agents out there that will not show you a house if it doesn't pay enough. Let me just be real. Like, let's say there's a house over here that's paying 2 apples and a house over here that's paying 5 apples. They're most likely going to push you to go to the 5 apples house because they're going to make more money. Not every agent does that. I know thousands and thousands of agents that are absolutely ethical and above board, my team absolutely included. But there's always a bad apple in the bunch, and that has happened. So this will prevent that from happening, which is a great thing for you buyers. I love it. It's a protection method for you. The biggest change that comes, though, is the next step, which is kind of goes hand in hand with the negotiation and the things I'm talking about. Buyers are going to be required, before you can even see a house, before I can walk you through the door, before anyone on my team can take you through the door, you're going to be required to sign a buyer's broker agreement to choose the agent that you're working with, which solidifies our relationship. So for me, this honestly is a big deal for us. This is a helpful thing for us as agents. It's just a big kind of wrench in the process. It slows things down. Real estate agents often deal with buyers talking to several agents at once, which really sucks. To be very honest, to be a business owner, it's not cool. But when they don't disclose that they're doing it, when they do disclose that they're doing it, all game, no problem. But the problem is that you can find yourself in a situation as an agent, a buyer's agent, who you are putting time and effort and money and energy and putting people in your car and driving them around with no solid agreement with the buyer. And then all of a sudden the client ghosts you because they clicked a link on Zillow and the listing agent called them and they walked over and saw a house without you. And now all of your time spent is gone. So having to, have that buyer's broker agreement in place before you can walk through the door of a home, I think is going to be amazing. It's going to also solidify the ability for agents like me who are out here every day saying and giving all this great information to solidify that those of you who are benefiting from the information I'm sharing, I hope will be more inclined to work with someone like me, knowing that if I'm giving you the info, then obviously I kind of know what I'm doing. My team kind of knows what we're doing. Oftentimes, I also think it's going to give buyers an opportunity to really, and force you, honestly, to do more research and confirm who the heck you really trust and who the heck you really want to listen to. Who do you really trust walking you through the door? Because that's going to be the person that you're signing on the dotted line for. So I really love this. It's forcing you to do your research. Finding an agent or a team that's honest and knowledgeable and versatile becomes more important than ever. And that's actually the biggest reason why I have a team of agents. Many of you who call me actually work directly with me, but I have a team of agents because we have the ability to be like 7 hands on deck instead of just 1. So it really allows us to kind of give a little bit extra to anybody that works with us so that we can always be available at the drop of a hat. So that's a big, big change. On that agreement, it's going to state that the buyer is required to pay the buyer's agent fee. Now that, for me as a buyer's agent, does not make me feel good. Frankly, as a buyer, it wouldn't make me feel good. I would not feel good about signing something that says, I choose you, Lacey. I'd love that. I would absolutely feel good about signing that. But I would not feel good about signing something that says, oh, and by the way, you will be responsible for paying XYZ dollars if and when Lacey and her team finds you a house, without knowing if that's actually going to be the case. The market's going to largely dictate who pays for what. Every individual house is a different experience. So to me, the great agents who know how to negotiate, who have all the information, who aren't afraid of getting out there and being loud about all the information that's happening in the industry, people like me, are going to be the people that you want to work with, because we're not only entrenched in the information that's happening in the city, we're not only tied into all the things, we're freaking good negotiators, and we have the ability to work on that for you. The reality of the situation is this is no different than any other time. The only difference is you're now, as a buyer, having to sign on the dotted line stating that you're willing to pay something to the buyer's agent, regardless of what happens. Now, you're still in control though. And I don't want that to scare anybody, but I'll be honest, I would have a hard time signing something like that. So that's been the biggest thing that I had to kind of take a step back on and think about, like, okay, how am I going to be looking people in the eye saying, hey, sign this, but don't worry about it. It may not be your problem in the end, because it could be your problem in the end. There could be a moment where the market dictates that the sellers don't have to cover your fees. The market dictates that there's 17 people in line for that house you want. The stronger offer is, of course, going to be less money out of pocket for the seller. So I'm having a hard time with that one. I'm really hoping that the National Association of Realtors comes out with some sort of indication as to how we can make that document cover all bases, in that saying something to the effect of, you may be responsible for paying. If you do have to be responsible, it will be this, this, and this. The reason why I think working with a team like my team makes sense is, we're going to be looking at the market and assessing it before we even walk out and look at homes. So there's not going to be any surprises, nothing that we can, that we have control over. What we have control over is the information that right? What you will know is, what kind of a market are we in? What can you expect buyers and sellers, or what can you expect the sellers to say if you're working with a buyer's agent? If it's not a time where sellers are covering those fees, then we together will need to negotiate what the fee is for the services that you're going to be getting or receiving, and how that will affect your buying power. And that's been the biggest point for me, that it's been really rough kind of trying to think about for those of us who are just struggling to piece it together, who are trying their best to kind of pull together what they can do to buy the biggest house they can. It does definitely limit, if you do get stuck with those fees, it does pull down on what you're able to spend and buy. So negotiation tactics are going to be really huge. Also, just having a really communicative, upfront, knowledgeable team and agent in the forefront leading you is going to be super duper important, because I'd hate to be a buyer who signs on that dotted line and is told by my agent, you won't have to pay it, we're fine. And then you go out into the market and realize not one seller is offering to pay anything. And now you have to rethink your entire strategy and your entire budget. So it's really, really, really important. I'm excited that, that this is happening. I'm not excited about the fact that now buyers may be responsible. I think it's going to really push a lot of lower budget buyers to a place of maybe having to hold off longer or not being able to buy at all, which makes me sad. But I'm happy for the commitment document that we're going to be having, because I think it's going to force you guys to really decide if, this is the person you want to work with or not. So more to come on that. So I started to say this before, but I want to put it up on the screen again. Depending on the market, buyers may be responsible for paying the real estate's commission as a part of the closing costs. May be responsible. Again, if you were, I don't know, let's call it 2007, 2008, when people were foreclosing and the market was the worst and there was a huge crash, sellers would have literally done anything to sell you their home to get out of it and get out from under all of the debt, right? So lots and lots of opportunities will come and ebb and flow with the market as it evolves. I'm going to talk about what the market looks like right now in just a minute, but I just really wanted to touch on a couple of these items just so you guys know. At the end of the day, I'm trying to think ahead. I'm trying to make sure I can look you in the eye as my clients, and that we are trying to make sure that you guys understand that we're out here on the internet doing this for a reason. We're confident in our skill set. We're confident in what we offer. And honestly, I've had a lot of people come to me, bump into me around town. Hey, your videos are the reason that I moved here. Great. You moved. That's awesome. We bought a house in Summerlin. Why didn't you call me to help you buy the house? Oh, I don't know. I guess we thought you were too busy. Or, oh, I guess people just don't realize that that's why we're doing this content. It's not only to educate you, but it's because we want to work with you. So please, for the love of God, if you're watching our content and enjoying it and learning from it, please click the link in the description, text that phone number. Let's talk. I don't care if it's now or 10 years from now. Allow me and my team to be a voice in the room to help you determine what the heck you're going to do, especially with all these changes happening, right? So that's my soapbox. I'm going to get off of it for a moment or in a moment, but I just wanted to say, like, there's some big stuff coming, and I'm very lightly touching on all the stuff that they talked about, but those are the major things that I think you guys should be aware of. You're not going to have to worry about agents. I hope that they weren't doing it before, but you're not going to have to worry about agents eliminating houses that you want to see because it doesn't pay them enough. They have to show you everything, and obviously within reason based on what you coordinate. So advertising of the co-op or the commission is going to be a good thing, I think, overall. It forces people to actually have to talk and negotiate. Sellers thinking they're off the hook with paying buyer's fees is a little silly to me, because it's going to be determined by the market. If I'm a seller who puts my house on the market and I say I'm not paying anybody anything, yet John Smith and every other house on the street is willing to negotiate, my house is going to sit and the rest are going to sell. So it's all about making your house marketable and all about what the market is demanding, right? And then, of course, the last component that I mentioned about having that buyer agreement, having to really do your research and choose the right realtor, choose the right team to represent you is vitally important. And you got to do it before you even walk through the door of a home. Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know if you guys have watched my videos for a while, but I've said this for years. If you go to a new homes community and I'm not with you and I didn't register you and they aren't aware that we're working together, I will not be able to register. I will not be able to represent you anywhere near that deal. So you either want some representation and someone to look out for you, or you don't. And that's the decision you're kind of making from this point forward. The last thing I want to talk about with this is just some things that you can expect to see, just from, again, my opinion. Who knows, right? This is ever changing, and I do reserve the right to change my mind. But for right now, this is ever changing. Here's what I think you're going to see. You're going to see a lot of buyers thinking that they're being swift and saving money, trying to go around the buyer's agents and go straight to the listing agent without hiring a realtor to represent them. This is absolutely allowed already, by the way, and it happens now. Some brokers will allow it and some won't. I urge all of you buyers to listen very, very closely to me when I say this. And this is just me being real. By choosing to go directly to the listing agent, you are absolutely going to be limiting your ability to have protection in terms of and advice and guidance. You have to sign on the dotted line, basically stating that you are acknowledging that the seller agent is representing both of you, and that you now will limit your protection and limit your ability to receive guidance and their duties owed to you. So it basically becomes extremely transactional. You can't get advice. You can't get guidance. You can't find out information. There literally have to be mum's the word on most of the information. So if what I'm saying to you right now scares you a little bit, it should, because I'm going to tell you right now, if they've already got the listing and there's already a representation with them, you're going to have less in terms of that representation, because they've already signed duties owed with that list with the seller. And they've already given them more of the duties that are owed. The duties that are owed to you are there to protect you and to look out for you and to protect your investment. Now, I get it. I would try to do this as well. If I was trying to buy a house and I didn't want to spend whatever, I might be on the hook for a buyer's agent fee, and I don't want that. I would absolutely try to look into this. The one thing I would say though is that, I would prefer that you guys be willing to talk to an agent like myself or a team who's a buyer's agent and figure out how to negotiate a rate that you're comfortable with so that you're still protected rather than going and flying it blind. One of the things that we do in my team is, because I also do listings. So we have listings and there's been oftentimes people have called me directly from the listing on Zillow or for wherever I'm advertising it and said, we don't want to work with anybody but you. We've seen your videos and we saw that this is your listing. And I'll say, well, I'm already representing the seller. This is why I have a team. So I don't feel comfortable legally representing both of you. I would prefer that you utilize someone on my team to be your advocate. We have specific strict rules. We don't share certain information. It's a very, very tight-lipped and tight experience. And by me doing that, by the way, that gives up money. I give up money when I do that. I split commissions with people, but I would rather split commission and let you be protected and covered than try to represent you and not do a good job. I'm just not willing to do that. And neither is my team. So I think there's a way around it. I totally get it that people are going to go straight to the listing agent and right on. Because if I'm a listing agent, that's great. That's a lead for me. But I'm always going to be, even in that mode, I'm always going to be talking to the client and saying, here's what you're giving up by doing this. Here's another way around it. Please work with my team. So there's that. The other thing that you'll probably start seeing a lot of is discount brokers and discount agents who offer a flat fee or an a la carte pricing to all the buyers who represent them. So it's, I'll do it for $500. I'll do it for $1,000. That's the immediate thing that you're going to see. And that's fine. I think that's great. Everybody's out there to get it. I'm just letting you know, to me, when someone's doing discount or bargain basement pricing, you're going to get what you pay for. And again, I'm not over here advocating that you pay a high dollar amount. We're probably as a team going to have to come up with some package pricing for buyers, as well as some negotiable terms so that we can always find the right thing that works for each buyer and for your budget so that we don't limit you or preclude you from being able to be a buyer at all. However, I just want to say you get what you pay for. So be careful and do your research before signing on. And those are the things that I think are the biggest things that you're going to start to see. The rest is kind of up in the air. We don't even know what's happening. Even in the industry, there is so much wrong information. So much so that I wasn't even willing to talk about it on the internet for a couple of weeks because I had to get my head around it, honestly. So at the end of the day, I definitely want to work with buyers. I definitely want to work with sellers. I'm going to keep doing business as usual. We have a beautiful team, a beautiful, awesome company that we've created. We create content for you to help educate you. So I hope that when you're watching this content, you'll consider working with us. Since we're the ones who are already giving you the good education, you'll know that we know what we're doing. So let me bring up kind of what the hell's going on in the market right now so you guys can kind of have an understanding if you're thinking about buying this year. All right, let me go to the beginning. So Las Vegas migration and relocation trends are really interesting. I always look at this stuff on a monthly basis. So in December last year to February of this year, 28% of the Las Vegas home buyers searched to move out of Las Vegas, while 72 looked to stay within the metropolitan area. And then this is a map that kind of showcases where most of the people who are coming from. So that's really cool. I'm happy to share this with anybody. You can I pull information from all kinds of sources. So Redfin sometimes has some cool stuff. Other mortgage companies have cool stuff. Amber gives me really, really awesome stuff. And the Las Vegas Association of Realtors and LVR, or LVR is what we call them. They also give us good information. Their information is not out yet. So I'm working with some stuff that I found online as I piece it together to give you the final numbers. But just know, guys, median home price and numbers sold and things like that, it's all, for whatever reason, never matching. So I always try to find what I feel like connects to what I believe to be true. Is Las Vegas a buyer or seller's market? Guys, I hate to break it to you, but we're in a bit of a seller's market right now. Not so bad like last year or the year before, where we were like 53 offers per house and it was crazy. So I do believe there's still absolutely opportunity for you guys to have your buyer fees paid for by the seller, especially until July. FYI, that's still in place. It's still covered by the co-op fees that are being negotiated through July, because July is when all of this begins. However, at the end of the day, when it's a seller's market, if it deepens into a seller's market, if the inventory goes down, and frankly, if the rates drop, this will absolutely be a seller's market. So buyers, just know that going in and come in with your eyes wide open. The only time I don't think that paying the agent fee might apply might be for new homes, which we do a ton of. So be sure to call us even if you're looking at new homes, because I want to get some clarity on that, but that's kind of my gut. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Let me talk to you. So I was going to give you the numbers. So the reason I know it's a seller's market is I was just looking at how many homes are actually listed for sale right now. We've actually doubled the number of homes on the market. We have 6,500 homes as of this moment today. that are on the market for sale. Last month, it was like 3,100. So we've pretty much doubled, if not more, the number of houses for sale, which is really, really helpful. And I think it's going to help kind of even things out. I just hope that when the rates fall, that we don't see that jump down again, because it gets really scary when the houses are under 2,000. We've got 6,500 or so. As of right now, and again, this isn't final information. I know that LVR is still looking at the aggregated data, but this is sort of a soft poll of info. Median home price is 426,250. I think it might be actually a little bit higher when they finalize that information. And it's talking about, like, this one says 832 homes sold. I don't think that's accurate either, but I do think that the 426 is pretty close. And regardless, it's just showing you guys prices aren't falling, prices aren't dropping. This is the whole point of me putting this in here. And median days on market is 51, which is about right. This is the data that I felt good about. February, 1,448 homes were sold. March, 1,614. So we're selling more homes. The market's moving a little bit. The prices are dropping. People are moving into interest rates are dropping. People are moving into new homes. So with that is opening up some inventory for us to sell to you, which is great. And out of those homes, it's saying under 30 days, it was about 1,000 of them. So a good portion of our homes are usually sold within 30 days. A lot of you guys are moving here and you're asking me, when do I need to start looking? What's the best time to start looking at a home? My take is, if you're looking for new homes and you want to build from scratch, you need to be looking 9 months out, if not 12. 9 to 12 months out. If you're looking for new homes, but you're okay with a quick move-in, which is, by the way, where you can get the best deals. You'll only know that if you call me, just so you know. Well, at least for the ones that I know about. Those are usually a 6-month window. I usually like to say, if you're moving in July, make sure you start talking to me, January, February, March, whatever that looks like, because we can possibly get you one that will be finished right around the time you want to move. That's a quick move-in that has a screaming deal. And then if you're looking for resale, sorry guys, but you're going to have to only kind of shorten that time frame to 90 days, 60 to 90 days. I'd say 90 days. Start looking, start making offers, doing your thing, and you can usually extend it out to get you within that window. But most escrows are 30 days. So keep that in mind when you're looking at buying. All right. We already talked about the NAR settlement. What else? Did I do this? I did. Okay. Now I'm going to get off of my screen. Let me pop over to the comments and check out what you guys are saying. This is going to be a quick one today because I'm alone and I forgot to bring water over here. So I'm like dying of thirst, but I'm absolutely available for you guys. If you ever want to talk about this, if you want one-on-one conversations, if you want to have just a discussion about even thinking about moving to Vegas, I want to know about it today. Okay. Today. I want to know. So text me, email me, whatever you want to do. There's also a link in the description and the pinned comment on all of my videos. Really want to be a resource for you no matter what stage of the process you're looking at. All right. Neil says, hi, Lacey. Hope you had a great Easter. Thank you, Neil. New says, you are awesome, Las Vegas gal, and I love learning about real estate from you. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Oh, Sammy says, oh, hey, love, we need to plan on dinner this month. We're finally done moving. Let's give Miss Sammy a round of applause. She and her amazing husband, fiance, just bought their first home, and she's been following us for a couple of years now. She's one of my favorite stories. It's just, I'm so happy for you guys. I'm so, so grateful. Thank you. And she also said, okay, well, this was kind of nicely timed. From firsthand experience, Lacey is amazing and genuinely has your best interest in mind without question. Thank you, Sammy. Very much appreciate you. MJ, planning on buying in 2025 and hopeful that by that time we will know the cost to pay your buyer's agent. Also, great videos will help cut down the areas and time I need to see homes. Good point, MJ. Thank you. We're going to keep doing videos for you. We've got some cool videos coming up. I've taken a very big step back with content over the last 3 months because all of you guys actually started listening to me and started calling me to buy houses. I've been completely slammed, so gratefully slammed. So sorry for the minimal videos, but we're going to be doing a lot more. We've got Summerlin Part 1 and 2 coming out probably in the next couple of weeks. Really pumped about that. I hope you guys enjoyed our events video this month. It's probably my favorite I've ever done. I had a little Mr. Rogers aspect to it. It was kind of fun. And more of that will come. And I'm also desperately trying to do more video driving tours. I know you guys love them. They're just a complete pain in the butt to produce and take up like a whole day. But we're working on it. I promise. But MJ, thank you for what you said. I really do hope that we'll know by then. I know we will. And like I said, our team and everyone else and their mom is going to come up with our version and our packaging, and we'll just figure it out. But if you're listening to me, I hope you call me. We'll make it work. We'll make it work for you no matter what. We'll make it work. Chris says, the squatting problem here in the Northeast is something I'll never understand as far as the rights of these perpetrators. Yeah, you know what's crazy? Oh, and he asked me a question. Squatting has become a problem in the Northwest. I don't understand the rights given to the invaders. I can't see this happening in Vegas, or does it? I definitely think there's squatting issues. I don't know that there is rampant as I've seen. I've seen on TikTok and on Instagram, like so many realtors talking about squatters and homeowners, and it is sad. It's really, really sad. I'm not as familiar with eminent domain as I think that's that the rule is called, as I should be. I probably should kind of brush up on it. Biggest thing for me when we list a home, we do a couple of things on purpose. When you're listing your home and it's vacant to sell, we do some things in the MLS system that make it look as if someone might live there to anybody, to the layman, right? So if it doesn't say vacant, ready to go, because a vacant home would give someone an invitation to come and possibly break in and then squat. I've only had squatting happen one time in one listing, and they did break into the home. It was in an interesting area of town, and so we were able to get them out. Police came and helped, and it was fine. But I definitely think that the biggest thing is hiring agents when you're selling a home, hiring agents who are going to be attentive and checking on the home daily and treating it as if it's theirs. If you're not going to be here locally, is a huge key to that. And then also just the way you market the home and the way you lock up the home and protect the home, I think is also a big part of it. But I don't understand it either. It's really sad. I feel terrible that people are homeless and that they need somewhere to squat, and that it's now affecting homeowners. It's all just nuts, and it makes me very, very sad. So yeah, I don't understand it, but I haven't seen it become a rampant problem here in Vegas yet, or at all. I've seen moments of it, but never like I'm seeing. Like, I guess California has a lot of it happening, and I did hear the Northeast as well. So I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry you're having trouble with that up there. Move your butt down to Vegas and we'll maybe eliminate that problem. I don't know. Vegas man. Hey, Valentine. Good to see you. Thank you so much for popping in. Hey, Chris, thank you for saying such sweet things. Really, really appreciate you. MJ, love the neighborhood and looking at the 55 plus communities. Will get in touch with me. Thank you, MJ. Would love that. There are some beautiful 55 plus, or we call them active adult communities here in Las Vegas, all over town, in almost every single corner of town. And they are just amazing. And PS, active adult does not mean old. Okay. It does not have to mean old. It does not have to mean you got to be walking around with a cane, because excuse me, 55 is not far off for me. So it's not old anymore. So it's no longer allowed to be old. All right, guys, I don't see any other questions. I just wanted to hop on and give you as much information as I can. I hope I made sense. Sometimes when I'm talking on my own, it circulates in my head and then comes out of my mouth, and I'm like, I don't even know if that made sense. So let me know if I made sense or not. But either way, would love to chat with you. Would love to get to know you and learn about what your plans are. Also have to do a small shout out, big shout out actually. Today is my daughter's 24th birthday. Happy 24th, my beautiful Savannah. She doesn't live in Vegas anymore, guys. She's doing the Broadway track out in New York City. And my heart is shattering every day that she's not here. But I just want to wish you a happy birthday, my love. I can't believe I have a kid that's 24 years old. Like, this is kind of nuts. This is crazy. Do you guys ever notice that? Like, all of a sudden blink and you're like a quarter of a century's passed. Huh? What am I doing? Anyway, all that being said, happy birthday, my love. Happy birthday. My son, Phoenix, his birthday is coming up in 2 weeks. So we'll do this again. But thank you all for your support. Thank you for the beautiful messages I receive every single day. Thank you for those of you who've trusted me enough to reach out. I am honored every time I get the chance to chat with you. It is my honor and pleasure to be able to connect you to my beautiful neon hometown. This place is so special. And I know that there's a way for you to activate it for you. So if you're thinking about moving, please give me a buzz. But otherwise, it's time to go, baby. I got to go show some houses to some buyers. If you guys want to get in before the July deadline of all the stuff changing, you better give me a call today. All right. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in.